Oh, that was perfect. You know what?
That was awesome.
Mick West can never say that he's never been on a UFO because he's now officially been on a UFO.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's on the internet. It's real.
Virtually. It's in the metaverse.
Exactly. Mick, we are so excited to have you here today. You've been in our chat once before when we first started. You popped in and you were on the Golden Probes with us. You won. But this is your first time actually like having a show and sitting down with us. So welcome.
I'm glad to be here. It's a very interesting thing.
I know it is.
I don't know what to expect.
To say the least.
I know, right? So let's kick off the episode as we always do with our Pledge of Allegiance. So hang tight, everybody, and dance away. That was beautiful. Thank you. God, I love when people got sunglasses close by. That was fantastic.
Good improv.
Yes. Well, such good.
I bought 20 pairs of these.
I love this. You know what? I will say, so you get a lot of shit on the internet and stuff, Mick, but like low-key, I think you're so funny and you have such a great sense of humor. And I feel like it's shouted a lot because people are just arguing with you and don't give you the opportunity to be funny. And it drives me crazy because I think that you're so hilarious.
Yeah. I think I got like a little problem of communication there, and people often think I'm being kind of angry at them because I have kind of a dry sense of humor, I guess. It's
it's so interesting.
I like to be low key.
Yeah, you know what? You've come to the right place because we are all dry humor here. So
dry.
Don't worry. No arguments
right.
here.
So dry.
All right, Bree,
So
you ready
dry.
to kick us off with our first
Yes,
video?
here's the first video. And of course, like we
Alrighty.
mentioned, Mick, you go first.
Okay, I'm on it.
Este momento épico, momento épico, cabrón. Estaba aquí en el
looks
volcán
very
azul
familiar.
y grabando el valle, vaya.
I feel like this video is haunting me. I think I've played this before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? There's always good to get more information on it, but I'm already. This is okay. I already know.
All right. Yeah. So this one I've seen before, and I kind of got a fairly good idea what it is. Like they're on a mountain. They're looking down into the valley, and you see there's like a bunch of like little houses and things around them. Well, not around them, but down in the valley floor. And I think all that's happening is that there's something down there that happens to just be reflecting the sun in their direction, like there's some solar panels on the roof of a house or something like that.
I agree with you. The
just
first
like
thing I
that.
was going to say is that's a solar panel. So I live in Vegas, and we have tons of solar panel fields, and that's exactly what they look like from far away.
Yeah, and I geolocated it. I found exactly where it was, and I went down, and there is actually like a Google Street View. You can do a little Google Street View, even though it's in the middle of nowhere. You can actually go down. And so I was trying to peek around trees and things, trying to figure out what it was because it was off to the side or something. But it's probably just something like solar panels, and it's a triangle shape there, just like Jeremy Corbell's green triangle because of it's out of focus. It's the bokeh effect, the aperture of the camera is making it into a triangle. So this, you can't tell exactly what it is, but if you really wanted to figure it out, you could drive down
100%.
to wherever it is. It's in like Paraguay or somewhere. But it's
Do it yourselves, yeah.
It's not really that enthralling.
That was not a good one.
It's not even flying. It's down on the
It's
ground.
not. That's why I say I hate the ones that just sit there. It's like, what are we going to do with that? That does nothing.
Yeah. Need some of the interesting observables, like the zipping around type ones. You see these videos all the time, and it's just like little dots, like
little baby
moving
dots
along
moving.
the
Yeah,
sky.
satellite
I
stuff.
think I have some of those today.
Seagulls
too.
sometimes.
Yeah, exactly, seagulls. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the sound for this one because I already know it's some annoying ass music. Oh man, this has a lot. So it's a UFO sighting, February 28, 2022, and there is a source down there, and it seems to be a little bit explaining what the dots are in here. So let's see if we can give this blurry ass shitty video view.
Wow.
Oh,
Colorful.
Oh, I see.
so colorful.
There's
So this
two,
looks
though,
like one
right?
of those kind of image intensifier views of the sky or something like that.
Yeah,
And,
some type
things
of-
show up in these image intensifier cameras or like IR cameras. Sometimes they have like night vision. This looks like it's image intensifier because it's got lots of colors in it. And so you see things like satellites, and you see things like planes and other things. And it's almost impossible to figure out what it is. Unless you got some like good context, like exactly what time it was and exactly the location they were at. So I mean, what is it? It's a little flashing dots. If it's little flashing dots, are usually planes. But we can't really tell how fast it's moving because we can't really figure out which stars are which. And you don't know what frame rate it is. It looks kind of jerky, like it's been slowed down or something. So or maybe so. I don't know. I'm going to have to go with UFO for this one. It's unidentified. It appears to be flying.
Oh, okay, I like that.
It's-
I think it's interesting what you're saying too. I think what a lot of people don't do when they look up to the sky sometimes, and I know me and Bree tend to do this when we go night watching a lot. We are purposely we have our apps on our phone to track things like stars and satellites and stuff because those are the tools you should be using first to pull out to look for those things because that's what really
Exactly.
starts to narrow it down to that unidentified stuff. Because if it could just possibly be a satellite, why bring it to people's attention?
Or a
You know what I
plane.
mean?
Or a plane. Yeah,
exactly.
no, there's and this it looks like it's moving slowly across the sky, which is what satellites do. You've seen satellites. You see the ISS
Absolutely.
go over. It takes a few minutes to go from one horizon to the other. Planes similarly, and if it's a very high altitude plane, possibly, or
Yeah.
it could be even yes. I mean, I guess it was in real time. You can see the guy with the laser there. So. But
Pointing at it,
there's
yeah.
not enough information. Like it's something I say about UFO videos. UFOs are always in the low information zone, and we need more information. So
Need more info. You need more info. All right, Spooky, what's your take on this one, my love?
I need more information too. There's nothing really that. I mean, I looked up the type of camera that was used. I'll share it. So it's
Yes,
Why
please.
is
It's,
it raining?
oh, there we go.
Oh,
The
okay.
Aurora Pro from Psionics. It looks pretty heavy duty, but I'm wondering why there's so much like color noise.
It's
Like,
a night vision mode, so that
like
it's basically
enhanced.
it's just really boosting the levels of all the pixels and everything, and it's probably doing like a slightly longer exposure on things, so you get a lot of noise, which you don't normally want in a consumer camera, but it's a night vision camera for like hunting and stuff. So
Okay,
so that's what you
I
got.
suppose it's not generally used for the sky. It's more for forest use.
People
where
buy
it's,
them for the sky. There's a whole kind of subculture of people who get cameras like this, or they modify cameras and they look at the sky. And it's not just like for UFOs. They think there's actually things like there's a war going on in space, and they think
they're
they can
looking
see
for that,
these. They're looking for like the Russian ships invading the American ships, and they kind of imagine all these things because there's stuff up there. If you get a night vision camera and you look up in the sky, you're going to see a whole bunch
You're
of
gonna
stuff
see
that
things,
you
True.
wouldn't normally see. So
right.
it's
was like,
it's
You could get the night vision for like the guns too. Like I know people had take the night vision scopes out because they're cheaper to buy. They buy those and then they use those to go night watching. It's like I think people are just using whatever tools they have to conduct whatever kind of weird business they got looking up at the sky.
Yeah, and night vision is
Weird.
great. Yeah, it's like night vision, like lets you see things you wouldn't normally see. So you could actually track down a UFO with it, or detect a UFO if there was something like that. But it's going to show you stuff that you just wouldn't normally see. You're not used to seeing it, and so it's very difficult for most people to understand what they're seeing.
Yeah.
I don't know with this one.
All right, Bree, let's
Right on.
take it to the next one.
Oh, no, Stranger Things.
Nope.
Okay, February 6th, 2002. 2022.
This looks like a star. It looks like a scintillating star to me, like Sirius, which is the brightest star in the sky. And so you see the scintillation a lot more. It's probably low, close to the horizon. A little bit out of focus, so it looks like kind of a blob. But what happens with scintillation is the light from the star, the star is essentially just a little point of light, a very bright point of light, comes towards you, and it's passing through the atmosphere, and there's all these wibbly wobbly bits of the atmosphere, especially low down, because you've got rising hot air. And so light takes various different paths to get to your eyes, and different colors light gets bent a different amount, so you get these flickering colors, especially with the brighter stars. That it looks like it's kind of stretching out there, but that's just the camera moving around. It's just like a little bit, I think, of motion blur, probably from the image stabilization. The image stabilization kind of doesn't realize that it's trying to stabilize on this one thing. It tries to stabilize the entire frame, so little things like that end up moving around. So I'm going to say that's the star Sirius.
I have to agree with you. So one time I saw a star that looked just like this, and I was at my cousin's house in the country. It was super dark. There was no light pollution, and I thought it was a UFO, and I stared at it for like 30 minutes, but that motherfucker did not move. But it looked just like that, like with the naked eye, like you saw all those colors, and like I was convinced staring at it, like, no, this has to be something crazy. But then the longer I looked at it, the more nothing happened. I was just like, this.
It probably just slowly rose a little bit in the sky.
Oh, slightly, yeah, of course.
It was over there. And as it gets high, it'll flicker less and less because it's going through less of the atmosphere.
And not just that, too, but when you're staring at a point in the sky for so long, your eyes think that it's moving, even though it's not, because you're staring at, like, your mind does crazy things and your eyeballs see very strange things. And so, like, it all of that wrapped up into me believing in aliens. For the first about 20 minutes, I was convinced I was staring at a UFO.
Yeah, I saw the Sirius a couple of months ago, and I thought it was a police helicopter because it looked like it was flashing red and blue, and then I realized that can't be a helicopter. It's like too high up. It looks tiny, and then I realized what it was. But and that thing, the moving around, that's a known thing. It's called the autokinetic effect. You can look it up on Wikipedia.
I'm writing down things
if
I've
you
never
have
heard.
a little point of light or something in an empty field, your eyes, they just can't lock in on it. It's almost like the image stabilization on the camera there. It needs more things to actually lock in.
To give you the bigger picture and perspective,
There you go. Autokinetic effect.
Autokinetic. I totally spelled that
It's a
wrong.
real thing.
There we go.
Invented by Alexander von Humboldt.
Oh, I like that. I can't ever pronounce anything.
Day.
It's what we're here for, to educate. We're here for education.
We're gonna all learn together.
Exactly.
Schwernschwanken. That's a good name. Sternschwanken.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up the next video, Kari. So
Wait
it
a
might kick
second.
your
I
thing
want to
up.
know what
Hold on.
Kari. I want to know.
I know.
what
Hold on.
Kari
I was
thinks
just
about
pulling it
this
up.
video.
It's gonna
That
put
was
yours
a
back.
star.
Oh. Okay, sorry.
Oh, wait,
Say that
please.
again.
I think that was a star.
Yeah, star.
It was quite easy.
Damn.
Bree, you
What
with
is
it
it?
too? That's a star.
I at one point didn't think it was a star because of the stretching until Mick explained all that away, and now I can totally see it. So
Okay, good.
it's
We're
just
here
a
to learn.
star.
We're here to learn. Okay, so we have. This is apparently UFOs over a football game, and multiple people are reacting to it. So it's getting a little loud with the yelling. I turned it down a little bit.
I don't know. What are they reacting at, though? Yeah, it could be they're reacting. It kind of looks like a real thing.
I love people's reactions.
It was a little. Yes, it's obviously a very low resolution video, but the one on the left there, it gives a kind of a typical kind of like a a slow motion fireball look to it, which is what you get with pyrotechnics skydivers, which these nighttime skydivers they attach like flares, like very bright, like sparkly flares to their ankles and jump out of planes. There's a team called the Red Bull skydivers. And they do all these type of things.
That actually sounds very on point, especially them like over a football field. Like who knows what kind of weird shenanigans that they have going on. It looks
like
there.
It's a lot further away, so it's probably like a separate event. Probably like 2 or 3 miles away, and they're just getting a good view of it. If it was for this thing, it would probably be directly above them. Those skydivers are going to come down somewhere else. But yeah, if you look up like Red Bull skydivers, you see their nighttime displays. They have the exactly same type of thing, and these things get mistaken for UFOs all the time. There was a case back in a funny story. This is how Jeremy Corbell got his start in UFOs. He was on Sunset Boulevard in Santa Monica, maybe Santa Monica Boulevard, and he saw one of these things, and he called it like a Silver Surfer. And he posted it on YouTube when he got really into trying to figure out what it was. He thought it might be a UFO at first, and then I was looking into it at the same time on my website, which was a Contrails website back then, and we kind of worked together a little bit on it and figured out that it was this Red Bull skydiving team over one of the clubs down on the beach in Santa Monica.
That's super cool, though.
That's how Jeremy Corbell got really into UFOs.
Got hooked into UFOs.
And now we've
I didn't even know
green
you could
triangles
skydive
and
at
all kinds of
night.
things. Well, there's nothing to stop you. It's
like what? Yeah,
Thought
like
that'd
what
be
do you?
illegal.
I mean, you can fly at night. Yeah, I think you probably. I don't know if there's regular. I'm sure there's regulations for where you can jump out of a plane. Yeah, so you've got to get your clearance and your flight plans and everything. But yeah, they jump out of the plane. They do it. The one in Santa Monica, they do it over the ocean. It's very busy airspace in Santa Monica, so you have to be pretty careful. And yeah, they just fly down, fly around, and land on the beach, and everyone cheers, and it's great fun, apparently.
I love that. I actually low-key would want to do that. I'm I'd jump out of a plane at night any day.
Really?
Any day?
Any day, yeah. Fuck it. Why not?
It's everyone should jump out of a plane once. I think it's a kind of a fun thing to do.
I agree with you. I'm like an attention, like a thrill seeker kind of person. Like I like attractions and like roller coasters and things. So I would jump out of a plane. I'd be into it. Bungee jumping, fuck it.
I did. I jumped out of a plane, but it didn't work out very well because. I mean, I still lived, but
you are still here. Yes.
It was great at first, going woohoo, and there's a guy strapped to my back, obviously, because it's tandem jump. And he pulls the thing, and it's like great. We all slow down, and he says, "Right, we're going to do some turns now." So he's going whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And I start going, "Oh my god!" I start feeling a little sick, and I go, "No, stop doing that! Stop it! I'm gonna throw up."
For real, yeah. Motion sickness.
And so he just went really, really carefully all the way down after that, and I didn't throw up, and I survived.
There you go.
Oh
Now,
my
do you have
gosh,
an
would've
inkling
been
to do it again
awful.
though now, or are you like, that was good? I'm good.
No, I wouldn't do it again because I
I'm
felt
good.
terribly
Yeah,
sick
Mick,
doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
love that.
it was fun. If I could just jump out and fall all the way to the ground and then stop, that'd be great. But
Well, you're gonna
yeah,
stop either way.
I know,
Yeah, exactly.
but there's,
Right,
you're gonna stop gracefully
Just depends on how
Not
fast. Exactly.
Okay.
and walk away from it. And walk away from
Right.
it.
I'm sure you
All right,
throw up
Bree.
on yourself like that,
You got the next one? Oh no, yeah, no, thank you.
right?
I don't get motion sickness. I'm blessed
Yeah,
like
don't
that.
either.
it wasn't fun.
I take a
Okay,
lot of
this is
cruises and stuff, so I'm
possible-
like, I'm into the motions.
This is a possible UFO flyby.
Okay,
With a fly. Oh,
that's fine.
So they recorded this, and then he's going to do it in slow motion. They didn't know they saw anything, and there's a stop.
it's a
So
TikTok.
this is
I mean,
like
it's not
they're
just
just
TikTok.
filming. You don't even see it.
Yeah, it's a small.
And you see it
object.
goes across to the right.
Yeah. So this is what I call an SFA. It's small or far away.
Oh,
We don't know which one it is.
Small
And
That's
it's a
hilarious.
I
perennial
like that.
problem in ufology. Is this thing small? Is it just yay big? Is it just like a little fly or a beetle or something? Or is it something that's far away? Now, if it's far away, then that means it's moving incredibly fast. You're probably breaking the sound barrier if it's that big. But I think it's more likely that it's just closer to the camera. Possibly something like a bug or something. Maybe a bird, but it looks a bit too
Ooh,
kind of
seagull.
regularly shaped. It's
Damn
probably
it.
not a seagull because you'd be able to see the wings of the seagull, but maybe a smaller bird. And some birds, when they fly, they kind of like close their wings for a while as they zip
yeah,
past.
there's
But
going.
I don't know. I think it's you can't really tell.
Yeah.
It's probably close to the camera, so it's out of focus, which blurs out the shape. And maybe it's like a beetle and it has some wings, or maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's a little bird, but it's low information, and it's probably something close to the camera, because otherwise it would probably be giving a sonic boom or something, and they probably would have noticed it, this giant thing that was like 50 feet
In
long
the air,
and traveling
yeah.
at 5,000 miles an hour.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heard it. Oh, okay. We're zooming in. I love when Kari does this.
Yeah,
That's-
it looks like it's not like a perfect capture. You can see it's got like a little dip in the middle, and it's got this nice kind of almost like a tic tac shape, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Which
very
is-
much so.
People always like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's you
It's
can't
not-
really tell from that. What is it? It's like 6 pixels high in the white bit, and then something dark
Exactly.
underneath. So it could be a bird.
Interesting.
I don't know. I wouldn't like bet money on anything here.
For
but
sure.
Something close to the camera.
I feel you. All right.
So
let me see
what
if-
are we giving that? Is that a need more information, or is that a UFO no?
I think that's a UFO no.
Bit
For
of both,
me, anyways.
really.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Not much indication that it's
it
like an
could just be
interesting
a
object.
big desert bug flying through, kind of
Yeah.
low down
Yeah.
and close, but it looks high up. Or it
Yeah,
could
and
just be-
you see it
Perspective,
moving
yeah.
away, so it kind of looks like it's just kind of flying a bit diagonally past the camera, but fairly close to it. I mean, it could be like real
Yeah.
close, like this close, just a few
Exactly.
inches away from the camera. But it'd be out of focus. Like my finger's out of focus here because it's very close to the camera, so you get a blurry shape.
Blurry, yep. It's like, remember, like a lot of those bug videos we've been seeing from like the Ring doorbells, and people say that they're fairies. You know what I mean? Like where it's just like because of the where they are and where the light's hitting it, it's making
Yeah.
it look like something else.
Yeah, no. A lot of these are really, really close to the camera, and so the
Yep.
thing you see is like completely out of focus. Like this, and this is what, like, just about 2 inches from the camera, completely out of focus. But they get even closer. Little motes of dust sometimes go by,
Yep.
and they're just this fuzzy thing, or maybe a little bit further away, but it's far enough away where you can't really tell what it is.
It's like cameras are a blessing and a curse. It's like now we can record all these things, but like cameras are just as tricky as all other fucking technology, where it's like all these little nuances you have to pay attention to, or else you think you've caught something unexplainable, but it's just how the technology works.
But the thing is, like, you got the great masses of people out there, and they're never going to learn every single thing about
course
these
not.
cameras. So they're going to look at something like, once in a year or something, like something interesting shows up on the Ring doorbell, maybe once every 10 years, like just happens to somebody, and they think it's amazing, and they send it into MUFON. I don't know if you ever looked at, like, say MUFON, their database. Yeah, it's just an endless stream of like a little dot in the sky, or a little blurry black blob, or something that's fuzzy, or like something that looks like a bird that's out of focus. It's just, there's thousands of them. Because people just don't understand what they're looking at, and you're not going to teach them, so it's an endless problem.
No, it's an endless circle, I know. And then it's like it's shitty too, because as time goes on, we get more and more technology available to us where we should be able to know all these things, but half of us are just so like not knowledgeable. All this information that's constantly coming out, and all this new technologies and stuff. It's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, they should have some AI built into the camera that can automatically
that can tell
detect.
us.
Yeah, I mean, like the iPhone, that should be powerful enough. Like,
they have things
to get a service.
They have UAP tracker camera system. If Apple were to buy that and integrate that into smartphones,
they could stick it in the smartphone. Amazing. So just like the sky tracking apps where you can do the planes, it could maybe try to figure out what it's actually looking at and say, this looks like an out of focus bird, or it's a bug, or whatever.
Right.
Well, if any of the higher ups at Apple happen to be watching butt stuff, call us. We got some.
What Apple really needs is a UFO mode for their cameras, an automatic UFO mode. Like, the big problem when you take pictures at night, you take a picture of the moon, it looks terrible.
Terrible, awful.
Your phone should be able, this day and age, your phone should be able to detect that you're taking a picture of the moon and set the exposure correctly, do a HDR thing, composite it with the rest of the scene. And the same thing with UFOs. Yeah, it should be able to listen to you, and if you're going, holy fuck, and you're pointing your camera up in the sky, it should detect that you just said that and realize that you're trying to take a picture of a UFO.
100%.
And set things appropriately.
So
come on, Apple.
That's another one, Apple. Let's go. Come on, we'll send it to them. Jesus.
All these ideas.
All right, let me get the next video, you guys.
How are we ahead of the game, man?
This one I labeled never seen, because I feel like it says on it, never seen. And those are always my favorite ones to get.
Probably. Best UFO evidence.
The fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
Yeah, in the same spot. It ain't moving or nothing. What the fuck?
A weather expert.
Well, it's low resolution.
If it came back.
Was that it?
Oh yeah, it's so short. That's what the one thing that also sucks about these TikTok videos is they're like 10 fucking seconds every time.
Well, it looks like a light in the sky. I mean, but what's causing the light? Who knows? I don't know. It's kind of like really low resolution video.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know how you get video this bad. I mean, maybe it's just
you know what? I think it's
camera.
Or it's that thing you were talking about where it's night and they're trying to film and their camera just can't figure it the fuck out of how it wants to do its thing.
I think it should be able to. I mean, like, it doesn't look that dark. You can see the building there, and the building's super low resolution, and it looks like it's well lit, and there's some clouds, but it's just. But like, what are we seeing? We're seeing some flashing lights in the sky. There's a green one, there's a red one, there's a bunch of white ones. Yeah. It could be some type of drone type thing, or it could be like I don't know, a helicopter. It could be a flying saucer. I mean, we don't know. All we know is there's some lights in the sky. But why is that interesting? We know it's quite possible for people to put lights in the sky. It's not like it's 100%. Impossible. You could attach a package of lights to a balloon and send it up there and have this like flashing light thing. But it's not doing anything interesting. It's just sat there. It's just some flashing lights.
I agree. Spooky, our resident weather expert over here, what do you got for me?
I mean, it looks like quite a high cloud base.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it interesting that there's no light coming below.
Yeah, it looks like it's behind the clouds.
Well, there's a moment there where you can kind of tell that it's kind of in between two parts. There's like a shadow from one cloud, and then you see it behind that. There's illumination on the cloud behind. So it is kind of nestled in the cloud.
I see what you're
looks
saying
like
right
it
there.
is.
Yeah, like nestled in
Yeah.
it. Mhm.
Yeah, but it's very hard to make out much in
Yeah.
the way of detail about what's actually going on.
yeah,
but
for sure.
I'd be happy saying that is a light of some sort above some clouds. Maybe like, I don't know, 4,000, 5,000 feet or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who
drones
knows what
generally
it is?
can't get up that high.
Yeah, it's probably not a drone because it looks too big to be a drone if it is actually
Yeah.
behind the cloud. So it's something else. I mean, it could be.
Probably say helicopter.
Yeah, I mean, or
Maybe.
a balloon.
Oh, yeah.
Or a blimp. Maybe it's an advertising blimp. They
Ooh.
sometimes have very bright lights on. Maybe there's a football game like this local stadium like 20 miles away, and there's a blimp flying over, flashing lights.
That makes more sense.
I'm putting that at the top of my list. An advertising blimp with.
I like that.
bright
All right. What about you, Bree? What's yours? What's your take?
Oof. I'm gonna say need more. No. Need more.
We do need more info.
We do need more info.
Yeah, we do need more
Yeah.
info, for sure. I mean, I just can't think of why a UFO would necessarily randomly blink colored lights
like
so
that, like in the clouds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems suspicious.
It's probably just definitely not a UFO. No,
UFO, no.
that's what I'm gonna go with.
All right, I'm with you. All right, Bree, you got the
Okay.
next one?
Yes, this was shot in
I feel like Spooky might get one
UK.
soon. Oh, a UK one where Spooky is.
He's slowing down.
It's slowing down.
No, it's not.
Oh, that's funny accents.
That was easy.
Oh, you already figured it out?
Kari already knows.
Well,
Is
the
it slowing
person said
down?
that it was slowing down.
I don't see it slowing down. It looks pretty constant speed to me. And
Just when it zooms in, there.
You can see-
Before it goes blurry.
oh, you saw
Okay.
something?
All right, I'm gonna rewind it. Like right there.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's a flame flickering.
Yeah, it looks like it's flashing a little bit like a plane. Yeah, and it's hard to say, but
That's a flame from like a lantern.
it's got a red light on this side.
Yep,
or
Chinese
a red light
lantern.
underneath. You think?
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Okay.
I mean that's
That
always a
slight, the way
possibility.
it moves. Yeah.
And that would explain the slowing. And
Okay, yeah, I
And
see
flicker
that.
in
the
wind.
slight little
Yeah.
descent down. Yeah, those
It's
movements.
got
That's
kind
like
of,
the wind. Yeah.
It's got that kind of orange look to it, like it's a white paper bag filled with fire, like a Chinese
You
lantern.
guys are no fun.
Yep. Sorry,
Yeah.
Bree.
No fun. No
Sorry.
fun.
Get better
All
videos,
right.
But
Bree.
yeah, it's one of those things. It's on the edge of being able to tell what it is, and so you can't make a definitive determination. It could be
100%.
a UFO, some alien spaceship that just kind of looks a little bit like a Chinese lantern. Maybe they use that as a disguise,
That's
but
my
it
theory.
probably isn't.
That's my theory these days. I think they're trying to look more like our stuff.
Yeah, that's Bree's new theory. Is she hates the idea when people say, "Oh, it looks like a helicopter because it blinks like a helicopter," and she's like, "Well, why can't a UFO blink like a helicopter?"
It can.
Maybe
it
they're
can,
trying.
but you know.
Exactly.
But what you're going to put things in a list of what's more likely? There's something that looks like a helicopter, or something that's pretending to be a helicopter, and there's actually an
Exactly.
alien spaceship from another planet.
Exactly.
Yeah, you kind of have to
don't
go
know.
with it.
We don't know.
The regular old. You don't know. We don't know. But
Don't know.
you know,
I know. That's what makes it hard.
I think you should be forced to put money on it. I think you should be forced to say how much money you would actually bet. Put your money
Oh,
where
I
your
like
mouth
that.
is.
I like that. I like that.
What's-
That's a good one.
What's your actual confidence? How much money
Level.
would you actually
Mhm.
bet on it?
My
on
husband
it?
and I
What-
do that
what
all the
odds would you
time.
get?
We
Oh,
only
oh,
get
oh,
a
oh.
nickel tops.
Not that dumb music.
bet
Oh,
you
sorry.
a
Here,
nickel.
Kari, you go first. I'll remove mine. Go for it. I'm so sorry. I apologize. We were doing it at the same time.
So this is one we've looked at before, but I'd like to get Mick's opinion on it.
Ooh, let's do it.
Alrighty.
Because after the fact, people looked at flight plans and they were able to find flight plans for 2 of the vehicles, but there's one in the middle that is very strange, that wasn't on any flight plans and does behave a little bit oddly.
You asked. Oh, it's not on the stream. Hold on. There you go.
Oh, is it not? Is it not?
I got it.
Oh,
I did it. I did it. I did it.
Okay, okay.
Oh, I know which
So
one you're talking about.
the helicopters flanking it They're on the flight plan. The object in the middle is not.
Look, it's weirdly compressed. I'm wondering if, like,
Oh. Wait.
cause it looks like a solid like block of pixels moving along with motion compression, and
But if you
it's
look on the ground, there's also a light that follows.
yeah, there is, which would indicate a helicopter. So I'm wondering if maybe like that the light actually is a helicopter, and the thing behind it perhaps is a helicopter, and the other thing is like some kind of video glitch. I don't know. It's a weird one
It's
though.
strange. We looked into it before, and we were able to find out the flight plans. There was some police helicopters doing maneuvers that night, but then the object in the middle doesn't appear on any data set, which is odd.
Well, it's possible it just didn't have its transponder on. And
Yeah.
it does. Yeah, if you got 3 helicopters together, I don't know if maybe they're just too close together, and it's tried to filter them out.
That's
He
true.
doesn't realize the 2 at the same time or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's terrible quality video. You saw how compressed it was.
Yeah,
Let's say
it's
there is
strange
3
that
things
it's only
there.
240p. It's odd.
It is.
'Cause
It's not just
it's
240p. It's like it's on from some like security camera where they try
Right.
to fit like a year worth of video on one CD or something by compressing it into dial-up modem speed. But yeah, it's if it was a better video, you'd be able to tell what it
Yeah.
was.
I wish it was better quality.
Yeah.
That's
I
one that
wish-
we've
I wish
come back
most
to a
of
couple
these
times
were.
over the last-
That's the perennial complaint that you have. I wish it were better quality. Because
Yet we all seem
if-
to have
if-
TV quality cameras. I don't understand.
Yeah,
Right?
it's a problem. It's it's a perennial argument as well. You'll get people started. They'll be like, "Well, people can't be expected to whip out their cameras every day, and at night you can't take good video." But that was terrible video. There's no reason you can't get much better video. So I think the most likely thing here is that a very bad quality video is hiding something ordinary, like 3 helicopters.
I agree with you. I feel you on that one. I feel like sometimes when they purposely put out those lower quality ones, it's like there's no way you don't have more copies of this.
Well, it's like
Yeah, I
the
don't know if
Tic
it's-
Tac video. Like we know that they have crazy high def versions of that, and we've never seen them. So
Never seen. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
it
about that.
happens a lot.
All right. Oh, no. Get out of here, X-Files. Okay. We started over. Here we go. What the fuck?
Didn't we
Flares?
already?
No, this is
We
one that's
already
very... No, there's one that was very similar to this one.
Oh, wow.
But I know what you're talking about, Kari, but it's not the exact same. That
No,
one was more
it's-
like it was in like a square pattern.
Yeah, it's kind of again looks like the skydivers.
Oh.
They came down very fast because that's when they were in free fall, and then
Oh,
they
wait,
stopped,
let me go back. Wait.
which is
They've
where
done
they
parachute and the players
open the
are on their
chute. Yeah,
feet.
so they're falling. Then they pull the chute, they open the chute.
And it stops
Yeah, more
and
or
you
less
don't see the
synchronized,
shoots.
and then you'll probably see them moving around. Yeah, you can see like a little trail on them. The one kind of
Yep,
bottom
yep.
left. You saw. Oh, that's just camera shake,
no.
obviously.
Yep.
Yeah, so probably some kind of
Oh,
fancy
yeah.
nighttime pyrotechnics skydiving at some
Well, and
event
It's fun.
in the distance.
I was like, it looks like too, if you look up to the left at the start of it. Hold on, let me see if I can stop it on it. But it looks like maybe that's the plane that they jumped out of too. You can see up in the
Yeah, there was
left-hand
something
corner.
there. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
See
there
if I
was
can
the
pause
moon
it.
over the right.
And we saw the moon. Let me see. Are you going to show it again? Show us the other one, bastard.
Yeah, it comes into view in a sec. Oh, that's different.
Right there. So it's
Could
like
be,
that.
could be or,
Could that
yeah,
not
maybe another
possibly be that?
skydiver.
Yeah, like the plane circling back around or something, getting out of the way, coming back down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks
I think
like they're having a great time. I mean,
No, it looks like they're having the time of their lives. Yeah.
How do you? It looks like a
Yeah, it's-
constellation.
yeah, some of these there's not very many people who do this type of thing. Like Red Bull Skydivers is like one of a very small number of teams that do it. So you can often look up on their website what their schedule was.
And probably noticed
And,
that's exactly what day it was. Yeah.
And if you know where this was and you know what direction they're looking in, you'll say, oh yeah, they were doing this over whatever stadium or whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna go with skydivers.
I'm gonna have to say, Mick, if you weren't here, that would give me UFO vibes. But with your explanation, I'm in on the night skydivers. I like it. We're gonna
What
use
did
that
you
one
say
in
there
our
again?
arsenal.
Pyrotechnics, is that the term you're saying? Pyrotechnics?
Yeah, pyrotechnics, just like fireworks, essentially. Yeah, it's just. So you can look up pyrotechnics skydivers, and you'll see all kinds of videos and photos of them. And there's also pyrotechnic planes, which is another big source of kind of weird UFO videos. They do this aerobatic planes, and they have flares, either one in the middle or on the wingtips. And so and they go really fast, and they do this kind of aerobatic loops and stuff, and it looks like some kind of weird UFO, but it's just people having just a fun display.
I love that.
You see them at air shows, the nighttime portion of air shows. Sometimes they have like a pyrotechnics display.
It's wild. We're gonna need to do more of it. All right, Bree, you ready with the next one? Give me that sweet UFO video.
Ooh.
This looks like it's in Russia. I don't know why.
How are you gonna assume that?
I'm just for some reason to me it's giving me like Russian Alp vibes.
These pixels, they look Russian.
It's near a mountain.
This looks like fake Adidas. What is that green thing glowing on the ground? Why are they glossing over that?
What was that? It was maybe like one of those glow sticks.
Maybe. Oh, okay.
Fun fact: did you know that Adidas is pronounced Adidas?
Really? Adidas?
It's German. It's German. It's Adidas.
Wow.
Adidas.
I don't know this one. It's again super low quality video.
Very.
Yeah, what is that green thing? I like that they just show it for a second.
Yeah, it's probably just a flare, like a neon flare thing. The crack stick, glow stick.
Yeah, that's what I think so.
I'm sorry, but the low
temporary lighting when camping.
Yeah, and the low quality of this video makes me think that this is probably something that they were able to see in the sky, and the low quality is just making it blurry, like it's something it shouldn't be. I don't know why.
It's
one of these videos that's taken from YouTube from probably a higher quality, or it's like a rip of a rip of a rip. So by the time we get it, it's like
just garbage.
We've lost so much.
Yeah, the TikTok when it gets to by the time it gets to TikTok, things are usually degraded somewhat, and this one obviously a lot. But I don't know if the original's going to be any better. Yeah, YouTube's usually get better versions.
I've been looking.
I don't know. I can't really tell what this is. All you can say is it's some lights that they seem to kind of like move around and fade out and come back in again, and they kind of it looks like it's being occluded, covered up and then uncovered, which looks like it may be going behind clouds.
Clouds, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but what would it be? I don't know. It's some mysterious lights over a mountain.
I believe
they're not moving very fast. They're not doing any, instantaneous, flying up into the sky, and they do appear to be defying gravity, but that's not very hard.
No, yeah, they are moving, and then it seems like they're like maybe stopping or slowing down very much. I would have to say that this is giving me unidentified light vibes. Like I wouldn't say like per se a UFO, flying. But it is. That's what's hard to me.
It's unidentified.
I feel it's Is it hovering?
I don't know. Yeah, it's
staying in the
unidentified hovering object. If it's Russian, it's fake.
If it's in the sky, it's flying.
It's an unidentified aerial phenomena.
Yeah, there we
unidentified.
Go.
There we go. It's a UAP. All right. Yeah, okay, wait. So we had one unidentified thing this goddamn episode. So there we go. That's the one unidentified. If we're gonna say one, we need more info on it though too.
Yeah.
Also, I just really want to know what that green thing is, and I'm very upset that they didn't explore that more.
I think this is great. You know what?
Nope, I'm just distracted by
this on a Android, and that's why the quality is so bad.
One of those damn Android phones. And they sent it to somebody on an iPhone, so now that's the quality of it. Yeah, 100%. They were like, but on my phone, it looks great. And we're like, yeah, but nowhere else.
Yeah, I don't know if it's fake. I mean, obviously, that's a question people would bring up. Is this a fake? And it could be. It looks fairly well, registered the motion. It seems to move fairly well with the camera. But that's not too hard if you start out with something that isn't moving that much and add motion afterwards. Sometimes the reason videos are very low quality is they start out with a single wide screen image, like a 4K image, filmed on a tripod. and then they add some little lights or whatever to it, and then they crop in, so they're only doing like a small portion of the image, and then they move that window around on the original video. And,
Kari, you know what?
It gives an illusion that makes it low resolution, but it doesn't mean it.
Yeah, Kari could do this in After Effects, easy.
Yeah.
Easy. I found one, but I'm kind of confused as to how this was uploaded like right now of an event happening last month, but they only uploaded it in 360p.
All right, let's see. Bring it to us.
Okay, well, I UFO'd that video.
I know you did. I think we all gave it. I think we cared to say that it was technically unidentified. That was a technical unidentified.
That's all that matters.
Hey. Oh, hey.
Project
So this is
Bluebeam.
apparently
See, flashing lights
There's a different flower.
in the sky.
in the UK. It looks like it's over some factories or something.
Yeah.
Lights.
Not blurry at all, is it?
I know. I'm kind of
Oh,
like this. Is why I'm like,
look at the
how
cloud.
they-
There's like blue. Oh, it's just
So
blue.
something in the sky with a spotlight. And that light, the line I think is just the camera.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
it
just
could
a
be
streak
like
of light in the camera.
it could be cold air. You know, you get like light pillars in the cold.
It could be, yeah, but yeah, it goes all the way like above the clouds. It kind of so it looks like it's the whole
The
camera
Star of Bethlehem.
thing. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe a helicopter like with a searchlight. It's just looking for an escaped convict who's bust out of the local prison and they're flying around with their searchlights. Yeah, it depends where you live, but whereas the UK. But when I lived in LA, there was helicopters with searchlights all the time, and even around here, like in Sacramento, you still get them. And they go and if they think someone's in a house, they go and hover over it, and then they shine the searchlight around in the nearby streets looking for people. Don't know why it's flashing
Check
like
out
that
the
though.
cloud.
Yeah, the flashing is
There's-
weird.
There's on the base of the cloud there is light.
Oh yeah,
See it?
yeah. Yeah, that might be a reflection. Well, no, it'd be a bit big.
See, you can see the
Yeah.
beam. If you look at the helicopter thing now, there's the searchlight beam. Yeah.
Yep, there
Does
it
it-
is. Yep.
And does it match the cloud reflection, the cloud light? That looks kind of green.
A little bit, slightly.
Yeah.
Strange one.
Thing is, it's a far away object, obviously, and you're in the city somewhere, and there's a big building, office building there. There's probably like thousands of people who are closer to this
Right.
object than you are, but only this guy who's like 2 miles away takes a video of it, because everybody who's closer can tell what it is. They're like, oh, there's a
Right.
police helicopter. Why am I going to post a picture of that on a UFO site? So anybody who's more than 2 miles away sees it as a UFO, and then they post that terrible video on the UFO sites. Well, it's a street
Yeah.
light.
Yeah, someone's saying it's a chopper and that's a lens flare.
Yeah.
I
Sounds about right
tried.
to me.
YouTube even failed me.
YouTube failed you,
YouTube.
Kari.
Sometimes
I'm
I get really good ones though.
ashamed of you. Okay, I got this one. All right, I got one. Let's see if
Man, we
this
have
does it
nothing
for
good
you.
anymore. I knew this would happen.
Look at that.
Ah, it's
Holy
a Palladian
shit.
mothership.
What is that? I am.
It's your friends from the Pleiades.
That's not plane.
It's not a plane. This looks oddly
That
like
is
that
not an
other video we
airplane.
watched.
So we did watch this one before, but I want to get Mick's take on it because we all were like, "What the hell is this?"
You see it?
Yeah.
And we know that the
Okay,
tint is
now I remember
purple,
the cause.
and
It's not
the
an
tint is
airplane.
purple because of the lens that he's using. So we know that's why it's
Right.
like that kind of purple tint to the color. You can see it in the
Yeah,
trees
yeah,
and
you
stuff
get that a
too.
lot. Yeah, one thing you
I've
can
never
notice
seen
about this
anything
is
like that before.
there's a little lens flare that kind of dances around it. There's a thing called a sensor reflection where it's always opposite, like it's 180 degrees away from the object. And you see it kind of at the start of this video, which I've never seen before, this video. And it's a very, very small spot of light. Let's see if you can see it here.
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that bright dot that's dancing around there, that's kind
Yeah.
of staying opposite the middle of the screen, that's actually a reflection of the object, like off the sensor and then back off the glass and back into the sensor. Now those reflections are actually the actual size of the object.
Oh,
the
and so
actual size of the light.
the
that
light
you're
on it.
looking
Got
at.
you.
Yeah. So what you're seeing there is mostly glare. So you're seeing
Why
like
it's
a
so
big
bright.
kind of the bright glare around it, and so it's actually a very small thing,
Would it
which
have looked
makes
that
me
bright to them, like eye-wise?
well. Yeah, that's. I mean,
Weird way
glare
to
is
ask that.
glare is a function of kind of the camera and or your eye. So it may well have looked like a much smaller light.
Okay.
But it's kind of hard to say really because it's a little bit subjective and depends on what their eyes were attuned to. If they're in the dark, things can like glare up a lot, and individuals have different glare because of as you get older, you get more glare.
Right.
But yeah, I'd say that's a small flying light in the sky. I don't know, maybe a drone. It doesn't seem like it's necessarily super high, and it's behind that tree, but it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's like up far away and in the sky by any means.
I mean, if I was to analyze this, I would stabilize it. You can see it's kind of a jerky camera movement. It looks a bit too bright to be a like Chinese lantern type thing. So maybe a drone with like a lume cube or something like that, a bright light attached to a drone, maybe. I don't know.
Ah, okay.
It
But
needs to
again,
be bright enough to make it look larger than it is in the angular reflection. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's not super hard to do, but yeah, you just have to be reasonably bright. Like to actually get a sensor reflection opposite, you have to be pretty. It has to be pretty bright. You see a lot of UFO pictures where there's some lights up in the sky, and then there's some other lights down on the ground, like in the opposite corner. But then there's lots of other lights in the scene which don't show up. It's only the ones that are really bright, and they kind of have to be either like super bright or shining directly at the camera.
right.
So this could well be just like a drone with a very bright light on it or something. And again, it's a light in the sky. It's not like we need aliens or advanced technology to explain lights in the sky. There's lots of
for sure.
theoretical ways of doing it. You could attach a flare to a balloon. You could have a remote controlled helicopter. You could like a little model helicopter. You could do all kinds of things that would have the same results. You could have, I don't know, like a little disco ball on a balloon and shine a laser at it to make stuff up. But a drone is probably the simplest thing.
Simplest thing. I feel you on that one.
Or a helicopter.
Okay,
it's
so
a helicopter higher up shining a searchlight towards you.
So I think that people give like, and maybe I'm wrong, but a lot of misconception to you that like you're out here just debunking all UFOs. You think all UFOs are bullshit and fake, but I feel like that's like not really like where you're coming from. I feel like you might possibly believe that there's a possibility of UFOs. It's just you haven't seen any really convincing evidence, right?
I don't think there's a great possibility. I think there's definitely a possibility, and I wouldn't rule it out. Professor Brian Cox came out a couple of days ago saying he doesn't think there's any alien life in this galaxy because it's be so incredibly rare for like life to arise, and it took like 4 billion years to go from single cells to a civilization, and the universe is only 12 billion years old, wherever it's 16 billion years old, and so it's quite possible that there isn't any life nearby because it's it's very unlikely for it to arise. But if we're just going by the evidence of what we see, we see a lot of stuff like this. We hear about lots of people having encounters with UFOs and with aliens that are really amazing, but you never get the good video of it. And if you get something that it looks good, it's usually from some anonymous source, and it turns out to be eventually to be fake. The best things we've got are these US Navy videos, and they're not very good. I mean, they could just be things like planes or balloons.
No, I agree with you. The U.S. Navy videos, it's so funny because it seems like the culture of the UFO world is like so dependent upon these videos. They're so like, but look, the government released them. But when I look at those, I just see like nonsense.
Well, I mean, it's something about. I think there's this huge problem with the whole U.S. Navy thing is that the Navy doesn't want to talk about UAPs because UAPs just kind of represent some kind of foreign adversary threat to them, like Chinese drones or whatever, Russian drones, or perhaps some other adversaries like maybe even advanced technology. We don't know. So it's all secret stuff. So they just don't talk about it. But they're probably not thinking that it's aliens. but it's just a topic that it's shrouded in secrecy because we're talking about things that are of national security concern. Like, if there were drones spying on us, that would be a problem, and it's something we wouldn't want the other side to know about, that we knew that this was happening, so that they could get around what we were doing to try to stop them. So there's a big issue of people kind of perceiving that secrecy as being almost an admission that there is something going on, almost an admission that the UFOs represent some kind of mysterious advanced technology and possibly aliens, when I really don't think that's what's going on behind the scenes at the Pentagon, except in a few small offices,
small circles. Yeah, no, I feel you. I would agree with that. I think that that's a logical explanation and a way to do the topic. And I feel like you get a lot of shit for being so logical, and it's like, I welcome your logicalness to this topic, because I think it's something that's needed. I think that we've been so, like, people like to call the topic woo-woo-y and out there and not sciencey, but it feels like the more and more science people and the more critical people we get inside this field, like, the more they're starting to push back on it, like, oh, well, who are you to say you know what this is? I've been seeing UFOs for 50 years. And I don't understand the animosity. It's so hard to me, because, like, I welcome your kind of criticism, because I think it's important that we distinguish what actually is not UFOs or what could possibly be a UFO.
Yeah, and I'm not setting out to, like, disprove every single case. Like, when I look at a case, my goal is to figure out what it is. And if it is something amazing, that would be, like, really cool. There's this I don't know. There's a thing in psychiatry called la belle indifférence, which it means this French. It means the beautiful indifference. And it's when people have something extraordinary happen to them, and yet they're bizarrely unconcerned by it. Like, someone says, like, oh, my hand fell off, but I'm not too worried about it. Let's just carry on with life. And people have this kind of thing with UFOs. It's like, they think they're seeing UFOs out of their window every day, and yet they just go on with their lives. And if someone actually was seeing UFOs on a regular basis, or if they could actually go out into the desert and summon UFOs on a regular basis, this would be a massive groundbreaking paradigm shift in science. And it's also something that you would be able to replicate. You would be able to actually demonstrate this. But then they're just like, do your own research. I can't be bothered, like, showing you this thing which will win me the Nobel Prize and the everlasting fame and change the world as we know it. Why don't you go and look at some YouTube videos? It doesn't make any sense.
Have you ever been out, like, actively, like, night watching and stuff, or, like, gone out at night with the intentions of looking for UFOs or anything like that?
I've been, like, night watching just for looking for meteors. And I saw meteors. I didn't see any UFOs. But no, I haven't really. I look at the sky all the time. I am a sky watcher, and I got the phone apps to find what planes are going overhead, and I like to look up things, and I like to look at satellites and things like that. And sometimes you see, my best sighting ever was like of some re-entry rocket space debris thing, which was really spectacular. The golden,
it looks gorgeous,
and everything just going slowly across the sky. It was amazing. So I love looking at the sky. I haven't seen any UFOs.
I feel like if you went out with us one night, we would hang out and we would possibly see some shit. But then I also feel like we would see some shit, and then you'd be like, no, this is what it is.
Well, it would probably be a lot of what we'd see here today. Like, you'll see things that you can't say one way or another. It's a slow-moving light in the sky off in the distance. It could be a helicopter, could be a Chinese lantern, could be a drone, could be a satellite, could be a bird that someone is illuminating with a laser from underneath, or it could be like a parachute drone, or it could be like any number of things. And that's what you're going to see, and they get filtered out. If you saw a helicopter fly overhead and it's close enough for you to be able to see it's a helicopter, then you're like, that's a helicopter.
It's a helicopter, yeah, exactly.
If there's a helicopter that's like 2 or 3 miles away and it's shining its searchlight in a weird way, then you might be, that's a UFO. So, but you can't tell because it's too far away. It's a TFA.
Too far. I love that TFA. I love that. Too far away. We have the FCCs here. We have the FCCs here. It's the fucking fact checkers, and we're like, it's aliens, you guys. There are no facts. It's all made up.
Yeah.
It's all hearsay. All right, you guys, we're winding down to the end of the episode. You guys got any final thoughts for Mick before we head out of here, my loves?
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing.
Okay.
Definitely.
You all
I
keep
just
doing what you're doing.
somebody
Thank
wanted me to ask you: are you going to do another Tony Hawk Pro Skater?
No, I'm not. Partly because I don't own the rights to Tony Hawk.
Doesn't have
so-
time
Thank you
for
for
it,
making my
guys.
childhood really cool.
Yeah,
you're
for
welcome.
sure.
Yes, yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it myself. Yeah, no, I'm not doing any game development at the moment. I am working on
Yeah, tell us what you're working
kind of a UFO visualization tool, basically. I want something that
Ooh.
I can kind of use my 3D programming
Right.
abilities to actually help visualize UFOs. A big problem I had with like the gimbal video was that I used to use this shitty little broken camera and try to demonstrate the issues with gimbal lock, like with just like saying, if this is the line of sight and it moves this way, it does this. And it's very difficult to convey things with that. But if I can make a 3D model of it, which I'm working on at the moment,
You can
Right.
explain it a
then I
lot
can,
better.
demonstrate it and show the exact mathematics and the curves and exactly what happens in a way that's simple and easy to understand. Because I kept showing this thing to people, and they were like, "What are you talking
What are you
about?"
talking about?
Yeah, so
That's amazing.
I'm focusing on communicating things effectively with 3D graphics. So I've been kind of going
love
back
that.
and
Yeah.
relearning some of the stuff from my video game days and like
Applying it,
learning
yeah.
modern programming techniques and trying to get something up and running that I can then use for a general visualization of UFO cases. So you can look at them from different angles and stuff.
That's amazing.
People are visual, so that's
They're
going
so
to help.
visual these days.
The
Hopefully,
In the
second they
future.
see it,
I know.
Fine.
Maybe
Like,
virtual
oh.
reality. I think that's
Maybe,
virtual
yeah.
reality is
Virtual reality
going to
freaks
be an
me out.
interesting way of re-experiencing a UFO sighting, because a lot of these things you see, it's a two-dimensional picture or a two-dimensional image. But if you could actually get in there in virtual reality and you could see, like, for example, what the pilots
oh, that
saw.
would be so cool.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the first iteration of the holodeck.
Yeah, it's if you can replicate what the pilot saw in just some fairly simple 3D virtual reality. I mean, it can be very good. You look at some of the flight sims now that you can play with a VR headset. It's like being in the cockpit. A big problem with the things like the Dietrich and Fravor encounter is that you don't get a sense of what they saw and how big this thing was and how far away it was. It's a
Right.
tic tac that's 5 miles away and it's 20 or 40 feet long. It's going to look like a small speck, and that doesn't come across when you just describe it or even when you draw a picture. But if you have virtual reality, you could be there. You could be David Fravor looking at a little tic tac
That would be
dancing
so
around and get a
That'd be
better sense.
so cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I
so
love that.
that's down the line. I think I'll probably work on something like that.
Make that
That's
reality.
the
I love that.
future.
All right, you guys, we're getting out of here. We love you guys all. We'll see you guys next time on
All right.
Butt Stuff.
Thank
we have an
you
episode
so
on
much.
Thursday. Thank you
you.
so much, Mick, for coming. I hope that
Thank you, guys.
people watch this and stop being so mean to you on the internet.
Come back anytime.
Stop taking this shit so seriously, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.